Shalom, shalom lekulam. Haverim across the world. Once again, thank you very much to our limud. We attribute our limud to different victims across the world who are going through different ordeals, because we are all the creation of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Just a reminder that my fellow rabbis have been online announcing the Siddur. And I wanted to introduce our Siddur once again. We keep on announcing about this Siddur. And I wanted to preface it with a quotation from the Mishnah by one of the Tanaim. And this is Rabbi Hillel. Rabbi Hillel in a Mishnah, in particularly in a tractate, Pirkei Avot, he said, Im en ani li, mi li, translated as, if I am not for me, who will it be for me? It's a very well established fact, and a very well known fact that there is a phrase people use that there is no neutral education. In the world of Torah, we have got so many hagim. Each one of these many hagim look at into the Torah and they form their perspective. So you do not expect the one of the tribe of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel to have the same perspective despite having one Torah. The Torah is one. But from the Nusach Afrique, we go beyond the Torah that is in your hand. It's for that reason that the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, the Chief Rabbi of Africa, Rabbi Pinchas Eliyahu Shaddai, and in his language, with his team of rabbis, produced a Siddur in the language of one of those chief rabbis of the Nusach Afrique, Rabbi Zohar Mas. He said, the Blacksman Torah, the Nusach Afrique, a new movement within the Jewish world, is not separate, does not have a different Torah, is the same Torah. The Chief Rabbi of Africa has produced this Siddur. This Siddur speaks to me. I'm not saying and I'm not insinuating that the other Siddurim by other minhagim within the Jewish world do not speak to me. No, they do. But this one speaks to me more than any other Siddur. Not because I'm an African. Yes, of course, it is a reality. I'm an African. And it speaks to me because I see myself through this very beautiful Siddur, I see my traditions before I discovered Judaism. The known Judaism, before I discovered that. Many things, I'm saying many things, if not all. And I wanted to declare that everything, in a true sense, everything in this Siddur speaks to me. Is just probably one level upon the other. This is one of the reasons why the Mishnah said we should delve into the Torah. Why? Because every day you study Torah, you do not read, you will not have the same mind or the same perception as of yesteryears or yesterday. Every day you read, even if it's just a letter, a word, a sentence, you will encounter a new light. So that's why I'm saying everything and the man of things speaks to me only today. And if I delve, and when I delve into it, everything about many things that I happen to know in my tradition, they are in here. They are in this very Siddur. My dear friends, Chaverim across the world, make yourself a favor. Make yourself a favor to acquire one. To acquire one and to study Torah at the different levels that many of us, we were not exposed to, and we did not have an access. This is the Torah, this is the Siddur of Nusach Afrik. Having said that, I wanted to touch a bit, because, not to touch a bit, just to remind ourselves that a couple of months ago, I have indicated that on Wednesday, Be'ezrat Hashem, with Hashem's help, I will commit Wednesday my limud to Oshwanda, my vernacular. I look forward on that day, all to that day, when the Bantu people across the world will speak their own original and initial language. I look forward to that. I look forward to that. Okay, I know that my master, the very same one I have mentioned a few seconds ago, brought us to almost to the gate of that language. And they only ended up to the word call. And the best of Hashem, there will be a day that language will be spoken. So I have indicated that I will commit the limud to Oshwanda, not to commit, but I will deliver the limud in Oshwanda, my mother tongue, on Wednesday. So I should have done it yesterday, but because of other commitment, we could not learn yesterday, but we have learned. But it's only in Oshwanda. So greetings to us, to each one of us, to social media, the different platforms of public platforms, so to say. Greetings to us, Facebook, YouTube, and the different groups. Having said that, my dear good friend, I wanted, before I tune to Oshwanda, permit me to highlight what we are going to discuss in Oshwanda. Yes, I'm going to discuss the law of Nida. Why the law of Nida? Before I answer my own question, I wanted to give a little bit a broader picture in a Jewish world. When you look at the literatures, the Torah literatures, the Mishnah, and all subsequent literatures, we see that many literatures were written by students, quoting their masters, their rabbis. And I wanted to quote my rabbi. And I will keep on quoting him. Why Nida? Nida, we know Nida. From the Jewish world, we know about Nida. And they call it menstruations, a period, women's period. Mind my language. My master once upon a time said, until we, Nusach Afrik, the rabbis of Nusach Afrik, the present and the future, until we come to the point of bringing people to respect their own tradition and in their respective culture. What is this tradition? The Mishnah. Unlike many perspectives, many understand all opinion being shared around the world, that the Mishnah is a Jewish. It's only for the Jewish people. It's unfortunate that it's a misunderstanding. The Mishnah was given to human race. This is what I have learned. This is what we learn from our master, the Chief Rabbi of Africa. Where did he get that from? Exactly from Rabbi Nehunia. Hakane. We understood from the teaching of Rabbi Nehunia Hakane, we understood that the Mishnah was given to Adam Arishon. So it cannot be simply limited then to the Jewish people, but to human race. So my rabbi then, my master then used to say, and I keep on saying that, until we bring people to respect that and to live by that, we will not be able to get rid of all the calamities that we do see and experience in our respective countries, communities. We will not. Why? Because, again, my chief rabbi said, we should understand one aspect, that every piece of land, regardless of the continent, is holy. Is holy. The only difference there is the level of holiness. It's an undisputed fact within the Jewish world. Yes, we know the land of Israel, it says, has accumulated much of the oil. It has got a certain level, more than other land, certain level of holiness. But each land has got holiness. But how much more do we defile the land, regardless where, whether it's in Israel or wherever we are? I'm not only talking about the Jews, I'm talking about every one of us. Maybe one wanted to challenge Chief Rabbi El Natan and asked, "Oh, Chief Rabbi, we heard that, well, there is no neither among the nations. We understand that too. Never think that we do not know. We know that. But no, we have to understand the broader picture of the concept of neither. And the rest of Hashem, it will be the subject of another day, not the subject of today. Because we have to understand the word, the code behind the word neither. Having said that, my good dear friend, another aspect that I wanted to bring into this introduction is the aspect, the method of teaching. My chief rabbi, now and then he would say, don't tell us what the Torah says. Don't tell us about the word he says. No, tell us how that word was built. When you look at, when you analyze, when you investigate the teachings of the sages, the Gedolim, the giants of Torah, from the Tanaim, Rishonim, Acharonim, and the many different poskim of generations, you would see when they, in their exposition of Torah, they would take one word, and develop this very word, because the word of Torah is not absolute. There are so many ways to look at the Torah. That's why in their discourse, we see that each Chacham would produce that. Is it not written somewhere there? If we are discussing about the idea from this word or this phrase or this sentence or a mini pasuk, well, of course it's a sentence. Is it not also written somewhere that this or that means this or that? For that reason, having been trained and I'm still being a student, still learning, because there is no such a thing as retirement in the Torah, I am emulating my master. We have been doing that, and we continue to do that, B'ezrat Hashem. I will post, B'ezrat Hashem, I will post a few pages in the group of something that I wanted to start my limudu with. Don't worry about the Oshwanda. I know how to summarize it in Oshwanda. B'ezrat Hashem. And the time will come, B'ezrat Hashem, we will devote, or we will give a limud in English and Hebrew and English, of course, on a number of aspects that I have mentioned. Let's look at the Targum HaZohar. Today, Yom Hamishi, the portion that we read this or today, in the afternoon, of course, the Targum reads as follows. I only selected a few, and I will develop this idea further. It says, the sage, all of the Targum says, Beyom hahu katuv veshev Yitzchak vechipor. We find this very pasuk when it discuss in the Torah, somewhere there in Bereshit, chapter 36, somewhere there. And this pasuk discusses how Yitzchak was digging wells. And it went on to say, Eti be'erot hamayim be'ereti katuv chasar וכולי. וישב. מהו וישב? It's a question. It's a question. What does it mean? What does it mean? And he sat. Where did he sit? The Targum help us to understand this wording. You see what I have said before? The sages, the Torah giants, who do take just a small portion. It could be a word, and sometimes it's a letter. A few minutes ago, we have just ended a limud by one of the chief rabbi of African Rabbanut. I mean, not Rabbanut, Chief Rabbinate of Africa, Nusach Afrique, who is championing you and I into the Otiyot according to Rabbi Akiva. According to Rabbi Akiva. Who is Rabbi Akiva? The Nusach Afrique is in that line of Rabbi Akiva, a student of Rabbi Nechonia. Hakane. We just learned that Otiyot. Can you see? It's not about just a word. It's about also understanding the idea behind the letters, individual letters. The question is, Mahu Vayashev? It's a question. And the answer came. The answer came and said, Ela beyom harishon shel chodesh, hachodesh haita hatichilat hadin bechol haolam. Dear friend, the sages are telling us that the first day of the Jewish month is Yom Kippur Katana. That means, as it says here, the whole world is being judged. It's a beginning, the first day of each month, Hebrew month, according to the Jewish calendar. The world is being judged, the whole world is put on a scale. What is the association between what I'm saying and the Nida? What does it have? What is the connection with anything? The same teacher of Rabbi Akiva, in his book Sefer HaKaneh, in his book, if you want to, is page Kaf Nun Aleph. And then guess what? Levana is the last sign. It's number 7 that deals much more with the government. A government, Mamshala, what are we dealing with? I wanted to end this introduction with another passage in Targum HaZohar, and it reads as follows. It's a small quotation, Be'ezrat Hashem. It says, Vahem ala mishum שהעולם צריך להם מהו טעם. See, the sages are full of questions. They are not questioning because they do not know. They wanted to trigger our mind to think and to delve much more into the Torah. What is the point here? What is the reason? Hu mishum ha'olam nivra bedin. Basically, what the sages is answering, I mean, it's his point of raising a question is to clarify to us, the generation, that the world, Sheha Olamu Nivra Hadin, the world was created with that aspect of din, judgment. Ve'akolo charich lihiyotikach, and everything requires or needed to be like that. In other words, everything in this world was created with the aspect of din, everything, including the blades of the grass that we step on, I remember my master said in one of his limudim, he said, even if that grass possesses all, was given 3 entities. One entity is to strike this grass in order to grow. The other one is a police. And the other one is a judge. Every aspect of it in this life, everything in this life is surrounded by that. It went on to say, Mishum ze hakol talui b'mase. Everything is because everything is hanging on action. I wanted to end that quotation. I wanted to end this quotation, my dear friend, with something that this very today, Yom Hamishi now is no longer Yom Hamishi according to the standard of Torah. On Yom Hamishi, we learned from the Navi'im. The Navi'im, we read the book of not Yeshayahu, Yeremiah. And there is a quotation, or there is a quote of a particular verse. And there is Perek Het, meaning 8. And there is Pasuk Het, again Het, Het. And it reads as follows to our hearing, dear friend. Echa. Why would it start with the word Echa? The very same word that the Torah uses when in the Garden of Eden. The first word is Echa. It says in the narrative, it says, oh no, the man called Adam Arishon heard the sound of Akadosh Baruch Hu's sound, whatever that it means. It's not a sound. It's not like you hear a sound of a car, a sound of an animal walking down there, or a sound of anything. It uses the word Echa, and I remember so very well my master. As I said, the student or the teachings of the master, the Gadolim, the sages of the Torah throughout the generation, their teaching were committed to writing by their students. Quoting what my master has taught me is part of that. Echa. You know, the first two letters, Yud and Aleph, they stand for Havaya and Eke. It's a subject of another day, but best of Hashem, we will get there. Echa vatomeru chachamim anachinu vetorati Adonai itnu. Itanu, sorry, not in itnu, but itanu. Sincere apology, I did not see that vowel. Achen hine la sheker asa et sheker sofrim. It's translated as follows. Let's see whether the translation is catching up. How can you say? Yes, it sounds fair. We are wise. Wait a second. Who is being addressed here? My master. I'm not praising him, but I'm praising Akadosh Baruch Hu because he brought me where the Torah speaks to me more than it was before. Halakha does not permit us to praise somebody, but I'm saying my master taught me. I am his extension. There's no way I can simply say no. The Torah says, and they bring up the Torah, the word of Torah, one way or the other, without quoting my master. It's a mitzvah, it's a command that I should do that. My master. He taught me to look at it carefully, not to rush into the text, through the text, just flopping. No. We are wise. We possess Hashem's instructions. Torah. Who is being quoted and who was speaking? Certainly, Jeremiah was speaking. Who was he quoting? He was quoting the people. Why? Because they say, Anachnu, we. Anachnu. Was Yeremiah referring to the non-Jewish nations, or was he referring to a specific nation, specific people who were saying, we are wise and we possess God's instruction, we possess Torah? Are you? Are we? Let's see what Jeremiah is saying. Achen, certainly, hine la sheker asa, et sheker sofrim. Certainly, for not has the pen labored, for not the scribe. But wait a second, there is something missing here in this translation. Because the first where we encounter the word sheker, because the word sheker appears twice in that pasuk. But the first it appears, it uses the word la sheker. But the last is not prefixed with the lamed. I wanted to remind ourselves. Okay, still time. I wanted to remind ourselves, my master, the Chief Rabbi of Africa, Rabbi Pinchas Eliyahu Shaddai, in one of his limud recently, he introduced in his limud about the character trait, which I'm going to deal with, but in Oshwanda. He introduced us to the word tir. The gematria value of the word tir is 300. Yes, in Share Pesukim, which I do not have here with me right now, Ari Kadosh is telling us about that word. What is tir? The word tir is translated a hinge. The hinge where we hang the doors, or the doors of any door is hanging. And he leads us that this refers to the rechem, to the womb. Without going into what my chief rabbi has already taught, he brought us to one reality, to one challenge. The Torah and the hinges, meaning the hinges that are in the rechem, in a womb. The chief rabbi went on to say, sexual immoralities, it does not have borders. Does not mean that, well, because I'm a great rabbi, I'm not referring to myself, I'm referring to the talk of many. No, I'm honorable. No, I'm excellency. No, I'm a king, a great king. Sexual immorality does not have borders. And without rectifying a character trait, remember the hinges. So, sexual immorality according to my master, brings about shekel. Shekel, lies. That means, regardless of our professions, regardless of our calling, regardless of our status, regardless of our names behind us, if you do not tame yourself when it comes to sexual immoralities, or when we are hearing you, when you are hearing me, and there is no truth, or even if there is a truth, because there is no such a thing as 100% of anything. If you lie somewhere there, one way or the other, it's a proof. We see, or you will see me, that something is wrong here. There is a sexual immoralities somewhere there. Chas v'shalom. So that means, the rechem of somebody, and you yourself, you are now contaminated by the Zuhama. By the Zuhama of who? We know the Nachash. Something that we knew in Africa. I keep on saying, acquire yourself this Sidur. It will speak to you. It will speak to you. It will refresh your mind. It will bring memory of your tradition, about your tradition. Something that we knew, something that our parents, I'm talking about now my generation, what they have acquired, what they have learned from their ancestors, is to be careful about sexual immoralities. In Oshwanda, we have got a very strong word into it. I do not want to mention it because, I do not have a proper and decent word for it. Now, who are the Sephirim? Sophrim, not Sephirim, but Sophrim. This translated as scribes. Do we see in the Tanakh a people who are being referred to as scribes? Yes, maybe there are also scribes in the nation, and of course there must be, because how did they inscribe and ascribed, for those who have this, inscribed on a clay pot and the rocks and all those? Yes, there were. But were they in the mind? Are they the one of the nations? Are they the ones who were in the mind of Jeremiah? I guess not. I guess it's us. I guess it is us. So this tells us that, dear friend, somewhere there, I talk about the deen. I talk about the deen. The world is under judgment all the time. And all this is rooted into our conduct, our behaviors. May Hashem help us. May Hashem help us to study Torah in order to better the world. Now tuning it to Oshwanda, and we end there. I have taken it a little bit, or a deliberate explanational introduction, also for the benefit of everybody, and the same audience, the Oshwanda speaking people. Or kaberim o kaume moilongo yayoloka oyo haipopi elakari haipopi. Ota kashimba vahan hanlandula oye tapo no shikeno ya oye tapo yange. Otan jimbuluka kashimba ko ni mae hani donunda. Onda popile kucha efikuleti tatu. Haika kwa njangela unene okupopsa Moshwambo melakari haludika ko ilongo yoko Southern Africa kombuanu wa Afrika ongashi Namibia ongashi Angola na penyanga po Botswana na penyanga moshike mo South Africa na penyanga mo Zambia. Openaba hamudu elakari oshe papo shangesho nena oshi kolelela koni mavaha punganda la tuvakunda faneni nanye pa ufupi ndina shikika shimba ominutedide omilongo mbali menetapitike watuka kwa njangela noshima shokuya kwa mafimbo ninanana oicha handi duro kuitumbula bamota ati aye okulimona bamota chokuya kwa mafimbo moshiyebero tunoshicha nida o okulimona ilo okuyapetu otora oteitulombele oinima unene ili itatu oyo onu enakukala neiche oyuda vapuka msho vayuda vovahapunye omwanyama ngengo umbandu owanyama koshiwana sa Israeli olokolo lyashike kucha olo lilipolo lyashike kucha ngenge owaiko kule oshanyorwa ngenge owaiko kule ne mango ilo oidila oyo tohange motanahi ilo motora na ichengone motora nena otakutiwa kucha o uyelele nonjoko oyo pali wapewa oyo kwei wapewa ohokulu no hokululwa oyo pali yapewa oshiwana sa Israeli shala kuchako kombada mapepe ilo kombada mapepe wikufako ilo owikufifako kuchano wikufifako kulieti oko kucha wakanifa oshilimbo sho ashifanwa Israel otunoini maili tatu ilo oidila unene oyo litatu shotete oshidila shotete shokuya kwa mafimbo shala kucha ngenge iyo fima neke mango tadipangele okuli okuya pedu neno wayako kule notora ilo wayako kule nengulungeti odokwalida pewa ohokulurwa no hokulurwa pama pita fimbo moshiwana sa Israeli oikulia otora oteitupe oinima yose pa oyo hashesho shotahala kulia ndoshe shikucha osho shape oyo omango twape wakucha natulie shongadi natulieshi ili natuliashi chala kucha family purity ochachifanane kucha o purity of family, o dietary law chala kucha kashrut na o Shabbat. Ngenge iyo fimaneke o Shabbat otorata itulombole taiti kucha kuna fikulimu uyanje oundombwe dinando momangu yonumba kucha no mangu yo pansulula kalo ilo o mangu kesha ike po mangu aini mai taeterwa yo peife o haiti yo peife aini me yo peife taeterwa otwala nana kuchangari o Shabbat euli kone didiriko kucha Oshwana sha Israeli oshaperwe otora nifikwetie ali otaliti dimbulukifa kucha onyoni washita mama fikweli ya hali na washita okwayanja oshipango kucha natufuwe efiku etie hali chala kucha ngenge ou otodini ilo oadina outu ashita oadina omango yau ashita neno chala kucha ove nonandeta kutiwa kucha aye shananku apitilepe ningasha atushiange memangu lilo detweni topa iwana ilo mo iwana motweli angeni kucha aya mohai takutati I will speak the truth, nothing else but the truth. And I will use it, help me God, by the standard of Torah. If you do not observe Shabbat, one of them, if you do not observe Shabbat, you are disqualified from testifying before the Jewish court. Because what is your truth? If you can lie, if you can disobey him, that means you don't have a border, you don't have borders, you can lie anywhere. Shala kucha ito dulu kuyanja oshike ondombwe di momangu ilo memangulilo. Kucha ne memangulilo pipu. Chashi ove oaninga oshiakana shomepo yokudina owashita ngenge no wadina owashita mbelonga ilipikona mwenyonkweli onda popsa observing o Shabbat okufimaneka o Shabbat onda popsa kashirut kucha ngenge itoli fimaneka oshota fimaneka omango oyo yatuwapo kwa ashitatati esinashi inori oikulia hayo yoyo inima ayo watalanomesho opena shimwe shahole kwa moshi mashi fano osho ifana kucha oikuli ashike asho ikuli asho ngenge iyo fimaneke family purity shala kucha moshi tukurwa neshi onida neno pene puko pove ngulungedze dingo twakanififeni imotwika nififwa kome itavelo imotwika nififeni ino dingo twedika nififeni koshinanena atukapoteni kashona po khopi o mango yo Torah kujota itinga ipishinasha nonida. My master on deuli wange yoe eli o chief rabbi ya Afrika Rabbi Pinchas Eliyahu Shaddai wadari washike mokongo and don't pretend that you do not know what Congo is. If you are a Bandu And you pretend not to know what Congo is all about. Rest be assured that you need to come before us. Unakukalawe apope pi nafse tukuyeli file kuchomorwa shikesho opena umwe apopile moshiwana shobayuda tati ngenge itaili konjele mwene olileta ka konjelange moshiwana sha Israeli omwaholoka ushimasha kutua moshingirisa takuchua movement oyo inasha no upacha ne upacha wa Afrika osenaba taholokamo moshiwana sha Israeli otuna otorai mweike ashike otayoloka shashi bamwe baja ko Europa penya bamwe baja ko Spain shabatu kalamo Afrika kelianga tulimo Israeli hakeshe oinyanyangida moshiwana sa Israeli teipopi pove ngashi teipopi kwabe eshi tashipopi kwame hajo tashipopi kwove ongenene o movement moshiwana sa Israeli mo unyuni wotora maolukane oshi o movement atakutiwa oyo atutiku cha Nusakh Afrika o Nusakh Afrika oekeane ilopeke apafio ohate tapo embo lomairikano ngashi muri wete embo lomairikano. Pardon me, my sincere apology. Embolo mairikano. Embwelilo mairikano la nyanyangida. Oleta po ko Chief Rabbi of Africa, ne Rabbi ada den dingonoka, umwe umwavo namonda kwaterwamo. Embweli otali popi oini mayengulunget den otali popi pove. Onga mwa Afrika tali popi pove. Aba ne hanlandula kashimba ukwatama wivange wove WhatsApp angashomo menene dula Afrika na Angola. Kashimbo tanko neke kucha ohai ohatungo no peke no haingo no peke oshicha engulunget. The tradition. Osheshimo unyunika kuna nana ehongo takutiwa kucha ae ehongoli enaku la nyama. Ehongo alushenge ehongo. Kucha ne longoli loludili lingaeli. Mokatika pono fialo o laumbata engulungedi dava veta ehongo. Dava veta ehongo. Ongenene onusaka Afrika. Shinasha no pacha we ngulungedi depeni dova Afrika. In the Torah, otoyange membwedi. Na tualukile, ke ngulunget kuchana tualukile, ko shikumungu. Oiwana, yoba Afrika unene otanyu weiponjubu, na shitanyu weiponjubu otaturwa moshinanena. Momoshinani na moto akahanga pekeli hanga momo psaka jayoloka. My master onda popsa no ai tutukile kumpopsa otati keshe shitunda mo unyuni oshirika lekerwa no shichanosho moshi ingirisa takutua isi holi moshi eberi shikadosh oshirika lekeru ashikengenge owelu mbata ilo ondelu mbata olo telu mbata nai inashiko lelela kengulungeti oidila ndala kucho idila oshala kucha edungolo ohatuka kekedu oimbuluma no mikipi ne njala ne dula hita diloko o Medina noita mwakwateroita omedina inatulandule ngulungedi hainimai hatulombwerwa koma itavelo natuvafimaneke na momo ndalimo maitavelo hainimayo maitavelo te tulombwele kucha aisha nankwapitile peni isha nankwapitile peni katulivaliko shiyo mango ndo tulipe ifeko shiye efilongendo tali ndipa ya baolik ondatameka apa haipopi haiti shikolela tu kembole peri hokole Israel mefiku elita dimbukane na lolo letine omishango ataditi o unyunyo o ashita nepangulo o unyuni o ashita nepangulo ilo epangulo ololeti olola oshitukurwa shounyuni wetu ondala ndishita kume haiti the word din the gematria value is 64 mwakwatero shicha shoven is 65 oshitukurwa eshitashipangele ounyuni oshi hashifana adanut naso shina 65 ongenene ngengo hatu otolombwerwa ilo tolombwerwa pavave ongela aba batapoma dilo ndotati peife katulivaliko shiyo mango otave mwetele omoupsakati kabe shishiku chotave tomoupsakati ashikotave mwetele omoupsakati okukalava timu uenoita ashiku unoduleita iloko kalanu unoduleita odulata iloko ashike ovanotavele kalane una ovanu itavele ashiko muno impuluma moshilongo aishei oitukurwa yo din oitukurwa epangulo ongene ngei oshitukurwa oshondatameka nasho kucha okuafimaneka mango odota dipangele okuya petu oshanyiko shiponga nashinyika iko shiponga kovanu oshanyika iko shiponga nokedulovene nokwaveli medulovene ngengo watale na wanamo oku medukeshe ngengo vanita afimaneke engulungedi waipopse engulungedi dotora tala shike moshitundamo kucha oimbuluma ohainingba oimbuluma ihaiholoka every way you see us either killing each other, we are robbing each other, we are stealing from one another, we accuse one another, we label one another. Where do you think these things come from? They come from, or they are rooted from our disrespect and our forsaking, divorcing ourselves from the Torah, from our traditions. From our tradition, the Mishnah. Vapuvomo vayuda wako totacha shana kwa pitile peni shana kwa pitile peni o Mishnah ya perwashike yo vayuda. No. O nusaha Afriko teiti o Mishnah ya perwadam. O kuchano tolongo mapsa, kuchano everything. Kesi shimwe shirimo unyomu. In a true sense, when you look at the initial idea of Shamayim, kakwalinana tapumbweni ilo nature esi kwalinana shanuna koma unyonyotu eweteni kakwali tuna na tanu neni okulonga. Kakwali tuna na tanu neni okuninga emango. Aye. Ashike osheti fwapo shashi paninga ovanungane kucha otwikolelela kukesho mwo kwikolela ko madiradiro aye ko matengene kwaye midiun imaginations na tukwanjangele. I have got only probably 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we quit. That's what I shame. Next time we will continue the significance of the laws of Nida according to South Africa. It's not the rabbi who just came and said, oh, no, we have to do this or no. No. The Mishnah, the Torah. Benishkai. Wo monlandu tu finda no monki o se talandula o kujango kumoshe rabainu. Fiokonena. Benishkai oye etuli popepi. Ongene nai alandula onki. That's why hatuti. Owa yuda hatuti. Takami fangenge tantrongore kuchabatisha na kwapitire bamotancho mbibero taitinga. Owi kupolie nana. Jesheke batiwe kilongane moka university kedi penya no. With due respect, I'm not demeaning you. I'm saying everything must have a tradition. Our spirituality must have that tradition. Oshini makashina shina onsurwa kala kucha. Ohashitpo piwanga heripi, ohashishangwa ngaheripi, ohashifaturwa ngaheripi, itashikolele kwa shuhuditeko. It's in the Torah. Otakutiwa ne. Intercourse and the other intimacies between husband and wife are forbidden during the menstrual period until she ritually purify herself by immersion of a mikveh. Otoro yoteiti kucha I will summarize some of these. Shama shike memendete limon. Shama shike apa atakupopi ovali homboli. Kucha no vali homboli wokongulo. Ilo vali homboli ne voko shike voko pasuralo. Ovali homboli. Unene kabesho vali homboli. De ongomborwa no ngomboli. Shama shike ongomborwa ndeta monokucha peife shi. Nenali olo etameko lokuya pedu pange ongomborwa terimono kucha peife nenali efikulangelo kulimon neno kuna kukala ngoto okuna kukaleri kalela shala kucha mondu damu anangala ngengo no muri mondu da kaleni mundi kembete dimbali embete na dialogue itakalon tumba kombete yani yol numenu itakwati kutu yol numenu itakwato ikumba fa yol numenu apa nangalo numenu omango yote iti kena shimwe no kutele ke itatele kelo nyum yo omafiku ae a apitipa okukala eliko mafimbo chala kucha omafiku ae elia tano shashopena ba muhani ngo mafiku elia tano popena ba muhani ngifo mafiku elia ne ekuche elia tatu nosho shama shika omafiku aende tapu elia tano natangu inakuti kwa maana okwa wedro wako natango mafiku ae o haifana kucha omafiku o wete ashike nande omafiku ayayela shala kucha keri wete vali ashike inaela natango kuya non lumeno ongene ne pauhupi omango oteiti lumenu kwetu ino pimbu wa kuya momilele nonkulukadi eliko mafimbo noko nimane amana omafikwaye oko mafimbo shala kucha na akale longo na abali okuna kukala aya moshima shala shipana kucho omikwe oinima yota kutiwa kucha wacho okukaningini facho motasha shwa itoshi ange momotanakh kashetira dilono yuda ashik ovanu veshikufa ikesha shibe shitalano mesho ashik iyashilongi ponu kuchashana kwa pitile pene haye wo itavela nenga tingadi dilone haye peife wo itavela na bachome po ya pukishana kwa pitile pene hashilongi fa hashola lakano lo mikive o mikive okonu menu ngenge taiko tataningishike taiko wairikana olumenu ngenge okwaino nkulukadi eline ko mafimbo shamaika dimo milele okuna kukala ya momikive ngenge taiko mairikana efimbo longula olumenu kucha onkeinu ngenge okwamane omafimgae okuna kukala ya mukomikive shala kucha okuna kukala ekeli ninginifa no ngasha shiko ya kombada yedu ngasha shike ya kombada yedu we amoyoni ngasha shike tu onke inuna ya moyoni ina jalasha kenasha na vosho tuto ningine momeva ito imono karinga ovito imo vacho aye no ndina ngu uhieringa vangeve lingapa aye otoimo uye nasha ngashingo wadile medimu oshongoto inasho oshongoto momikive shinya omikive okukulonge kida ukashakene non lumenu ilo onlumenu owoye ongomboli woye opwe kushakene kenavi moinima yomonjuo kashimbo wala ne kupulange toti ay tate chife rabbi el Nathaniel Hanan Genge andende mama pandanda. What about walking in somewhere there and I do not know about any other woman. Ai otora oteiti apa ohatu popi ovali homboji. Ndita tu popi. Shashi onke inuke shetonga ngeli mama pandanda. Eshi oshinima shimwe shome manga beko yo itilayo torata iti siya tuminike nova kulukadi kuchane nande nakale bacho mdenge ange ilo mkulu wange ilo mpambere wange umonumba ai yandi minike oshimwe shomayo omo makwaterwa no mango teiti itati what is this okuipa pidikia kuipa kidilango tu nde oshiwabose oshicha shanyengange ngone so okulipa oshini mamenyala omeme non tate tavipe oshini mamenyala otora oyeshikelela watu popi omishina the Torah oyeshikelela po hupiva horike oshokucha o ngenge inatufimaneka omango yoshike yonida kucha onkuluka dingengo kulimo okwelimo no oinshamani nopumbwa uye nonkuluka dina pumbwa mukale muri mombete imwaike ngenge inatufimaneka oinimai otatelela oinimai hapu handiki fatrulo etapitike moshivike tashia natango ngome fiku etitatu o pehulilo at this end o wandala ku ngonopeka Oshwanda popcha desidur embolo meirikano otalimonika online ko Amazon otalimonika mifimbolo peifo pone pelilo opongone hatu pama dara penya na penya omoro ongalo yo peiniwe yo banu betu nene mo continent Africa tutale kucha mo shilongo mbira shiri people ma Africa hatu duruku kala twalongifa omo obanu osho shiri pope pe uno no bahapu unene mo continent Africa omo toka hanga na tango oini mangasho ye ngulungedi doktora odo tu na tadi tukumwe na ngulungedi di makalanado ashikwe ifo pedikani fifeni pediku fifeipo koshina nena nokoini mayo maitabelo ko banuta popi ai ngengo shiringa ho wafa weolenge watondange otora oteiti manga shike onke inuta iko mafimbo okuya ko mafimbo oshitukurwa shefingo kashi shisho pouship ndo oshitukurwa shefingo omanga takulongifa oshichanida ndacho haikeshifaturula kucha onida ngenge hatupopi oshicha nida oshiyapo nanga helipi noshiketwa holeka momanyolo inocha ouditeko ngenge tolesha onakukala wafaturuliwa tofaturuliwa ke rabai baolike neipa mitei neipandule nandipandule kova kwikini voe papo etu ipandula o Chief Rabbi of Africa, Rabbi Pinchas Eliyahu Shaddai, mokukala eliko koshikeko koshiteringa ukukala a creatinga e platforma gashe YouTube ne Facebook no shonosho opotukale twanja eshi atu yanje moshike mo bana mwenye wakwetu. My dear good friend, at this end, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each one of us. If there is, let me see if there is a question. My goodness. I do not see any question, but if there is any question, please do not hesitate. I do not see any question here, but if there is any question, please do not hesitate to send your questions. Best of Hashem, to the best of our ability, we will revert back to you with the answers. Thank you very much, Chief Rabbi Pinchas, the Chief Rabbi of Africa, for having created this platform to enable us to give the word of Torah to our fellow human beings across the world. Thank you very, very much for all the participants, Chief Rabbi Ishai. Thank you very much for participating. A sincere apology that I have to tune into Oshwanda.
No worries. We are here. Baruch Hashem.
So, B'ezrat Hashem, we shall meet next week, and I wanted to wish you, each one of us, Shabbat Shalom lekulam, le'itraot B'ezrat Hashem, Shavua haba. Toda rabba lekulam. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Chazak u'baruch.
Shabbat Shalom tzadikim.